So if you're alive and paying attention to crypto, you saw over the past month that AI projects pumped tremendously. Did you make huge money as that happened? If not, why not? Well, it came fast and suddenly, and who could have even predicted it? Well, we on this channel did, kind of. I will explain. What you have just seen is what I call a narrative pump. And is it over? It is hard to say, specifically on AI. It's really hard to say, but I personally took my gains and rolled them into other cheap projects that are solidly out of narrative now because it's hard to tell. Now, I do think the AI narrative might have further strength to go, but we'll see. It depends on how much people continue to talk about AI over the coming month or two. Now, which projects have I been rolling money into? Well, I'll share some of those with you today as well. Pete D says, Rainmakers Unite. J Solo 9 says, make it rain. Great. Good to have you guys. Now, welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. If you like money in crypto and you're looking for a seasoned investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. Do know I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. You can join us in a couple of ways. Just by liking and subscribing, you can join our free Telegram where the link is below. You can also join our Patreon, which there are some different plans that give you different levels of access, but they start at $19, $19.99 a month, and you'll be able to join our private Discord. And we do pre-live streams on Fridays where I interact with you directly, and we get to speak and talk and interact through our private Discord all the time. Now, make it rain on that like button and strap in for this show. So what is a narrative pump? Well, it's what you just saw. Everything having to do with AI pump tremendously. Why did crypto AI pump? Well, AI pumped. ChatGPT was revealed to the world and gained millions of users within its first month. And all of us, including me, were astounded with what AI is now able to do. And therefore, everything AI related pumped tremendously. Well, who called it? Well, we did. We had Singularity DAO join us back in October to talk about what they were doing and how they were using AI. Now let's check that out. This is the video here. Let me share my screen. So back in October, 620 views. Now, why did people not watch this, right? That was one of the lowest views of my videos at the time, and yet nobody watched it, and yet it's done tremendous gains since then. Now, what happened? Well, AI wasn't in the narrative back then, so the number of views on it was terrible. Why? Because it was cheap. Yet all of the AI projects, Singularity DAO and also NewNet were some, in my opinion, the most solid, and they do work together. They are heavily related, the both of them. So this helps us illustrate a point. How do you make a fortune in crypto? Well, it's simple, but it's not easy. Here's the simple truth. To make a fortune in crypto, you want to find projects that are solid when they are out of the narrative and buy them when they are cheap, and then sell them when the narrative hits, right? It's that simple. Let me illustrate. Specifically, this is Singularity. Now, if you had bought in October, they did list on Binance, and you see, let me share my screen. They listed in October. You do see they listed on Binance. So you had this big wick leading up to the Binance listing. And so they came right back down. And let me give you a bigger time frame on a daily. So you could see, wow, oh my gosh, they've been really cheap all this time except for the Binance wick. You could have bought in here. Now, is this done running? I don't know that it is. It might run some more, but I did sell all of my AI tokens and rolled them in things that are strongly out of the narrative in case it decides this is the top. But it could absolutely do another one of these wick ups and take the price all the way up to 60, 70, 80 cents. Chance of that, I don't know. At this point, it feels like it's 50-50 whether it takes another run up. I can't see into the future. But when did I cover it? When they were strongly out of the narrative, right? And now almost everything in AI, crypto related, pumped. What I found about AI is there's a lot of projects that are scam related and they just throw AI on there to be a buzzword. So specifically, I covered projects that were in the AI space that had a foundational team that made sense. They both NewNet and Singularity DAO have Dr. Ben Gorsel, who is considered the godfather of AI. You can't get much more credibility than that. And that's why specifically I was interested in them, not only to cover them, but I bought while they were cheap, right? All right. So in summary, how do you make a fortune in crypto? You buy when it's boring and nobody watches the damn videos because it's boring. It's not in the narrative and people aren't thinking about it. And that's okay. Like, I don't mind that it didn't get a ton of views. What I do like is that those that did view it inform themselves and are like, oh my gosh, yes, I like what they're doing and bought some. Well, they massively benefited, right? And that's funny. That's how crypto works. And this is part of the reason so many people don't make money in crypto. It's because, let me share my screen. When are they buying it? When it's already in the narrative, when there's a 50-50 chance it might not continue going up. And if it does continue going up, they might not even sell then because they're like, this is just going to go straight to the moon. And it often will then come back down and they will learn what a retracement is all about. And the lesson they take home from that is crypto's just too hard. Okay. So I never said making a fortune in crypto is easy because it's not, but it is simple. And the simple formula is what I shared already. Buy when it's boring. Find strong projects. Look for teams that have strength and they have an idea that could absolutely take off. And then you hold it till it does. And then you benefit from it. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And over a 5-year period, this can equate to massive, even a 40-year period, massive gains. And if you give yourself an 8-year period, I know a few people in crypto that have hit net worths over $50 million, and they've been in crypto 6 to 8 years. Yeah, one of them's at a net worth over $1 billion, and they started in crypto about 6.5 years ago. Now, they are exceptionally bright, and so I don't know if that part is duplicatable because, wow, the intelligence on that guy is amazing. But what I know is this formula is fairly simple. Buy when things are out of the narrative. Now, in the pre-live stream, we talked about some of the blue chip projects that are out of the narrative, but have, in my opinion, tremendous fundamental strength. And I won't be going through those, but I will share with you some of what I bought these past 2 weeks and what I like about them. And they are all out of the narrative right now. So one of the first ones that I want to talk about is Bumper Protocol. Now, why in the world would you want to be buying something like Bumper Protocol when their charts look like this? Well, that's terrible. That's very boring. That chart is so boring. Why would you want to buy it? Well, because to make money in crypto, the way you make money is that you buy low, right? So that you can sell high. But a lot of people get that backwards and they buy high hoping that it will go higher. And then it goes lower. And then they say crypto doesn't work. Well, it sure doesn't work for them because what they're trying to do never works. Because even if they buy it and it does go higher, they don't take profits on it. And eventually it goes to below what they even bought at. And that is a recipe for disaster. Yet, look, people come into this thinking this is a get-rich-quick scheme. And so they don't understand that there's some knowledge, there's some formulas, there's some things they have to understand to do well in this. And that's okay. That's part of the reason we have this channel. Just know that not everybody's going to see this channel and not everybody's going to listen. And that's okay, because the rewards go to those who do. That's the fun part, right? All right. So why am I buying this very boring token? Oh my gosh. Look, their market cap is $1.3 million. What a loser. Well, Ecomi's market cap was once below this price, and yet now its market cap is in the hundreds of millions. Would you have rather bought it when the market cap was around $1 million, or once it's into the hundreds of millions? Now, I still like Ecomi, and I think it'll go much, much, much higher. And it's boring again. It was 4 years ago and 3 years ago before the market cap, when the market cap was this cheap. And so that doesn't dissuade me that Bumper is so cheap. In fact, that's exciting to me if what they're trying to do, especially if what they're trying to do is world changing, and if the team behind it has some substance. Now, those are the bigger questions, right? So we see that they're cheap. We see that their token price is very, very boring. Let's look in the last 3 months. Okay, so it's not as boring as it was. It's in fact double from what its lows were. So it's 4.2 cents, still a good price. Well, its market cap is 1.3 million. So where could it go from here? Well, I think it can do quite well from here. I did want to give a shout out to those in our live stream. Pete D, J Solo 9, Colin Vanderhoven says, what's up, Rain? Where is Paul? Paul joins us specifically on Wednesdays. I did try to see if we could get God's entry today. He said maybe next week he'll join us. Technical analysis is a lot of fun, especially when we're in these topsy-turvy price jump up 10x on some coins times. And look, maybe the bottom of the bear is in. And so maybe as we trade sideways, or generally maybe even when we take off upwards, technical analysis becomes a lot more relevant. Shahid Hamid says, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. All right. So Bumper Protocol, what is it that I like about them? Now, if you haven't caught the 3 different interviews I've done over the past year and a half with Jonathan Descartes from Bumper Protocol, you are missing out, because he explains it so eloquently, so precisely. It also, not only will you hear his explanation of what they do, you get a feel for him. Is this guy connected enough, intelligent enough to make this project happen? That's part of the reason I created this channel, so that we could get on guests like that. So not only could you hear from them, but I could hear from them, and we could hear from them together. Get a feel for their body language, get a feel for the team behind them, and get a feel for them as well. Because almost nobody was doing that when I created this channel. And so I felt like that was needed in order for me to make informed decisions. And I figured there was maybe other people out there too that wanted that exact type of information. Interviews with the teams to see what's going on fundamentally, as well as who is this team behind it, so that I could pick through all the projects that might be boring right now and try to identify the ones that have the best potential for success. So Bumper Protocol, one of our members, specifically Chris, thank you for some of the updates. Bumper Protocol is going to be doing some massive staking incentives for those that provide liquidity between USDC and their token. They're going to be giving some bump rewards. Also, you can do staking on their side of their tokens. So I have a bunch of tokens. Most of mine are staked right now, earning some additional Bumper tokens. So this project is one of the ones I look at that their market cap is under 2 million, that has the potential, if what they're trying to do succeeds and comes together, and if it also hits a main narrative, which I think this is strong enough to hit its own narrative, that it has the potential to go to like a $50 billion market cap. And no, I didn't say that wrong. Yes, I said 50 billion. Now, will it? I don't know. I thought Cardano was massively underpriced at 1.7 cents, and I had a whole bunch of people who disagreed with me, and they said it was going to continue going down all the way to zero. And I was so happy. I was like, 1.7 cents. This is freaking amazing. Are you kidding me? Cardano is the best deal. And this was like 3.5 years ago. And a whole bunch of people said I was wrong. Now, was I right? I was absolutely right. It was a massive deal. I think Bumper Protocol is a massive deal, but I don't have a magic crystal ball to see if it does come together and see if it hits that $50 billion market cap. What I like about it is it does have the potential. What they're doing is so world changing if they're successful that it could hit a crazy number like that within a 1 to 2 year period. And most projects, I can't say that. I can only say most projects, that's not even possible for them. All right. Suresh is asking me to look at Mobland. I might, if I have a second, after a few more I want to talk to you about. Now, I recently had another interview on the channel, and that was with Spores. Now, let me pull up Spores Network. Now, Spores is acting as a launch pad, and they did make a specific offer on there that was really, really interesting about how people can participate in some things. So if you haven't caught that video, go back and watch it. I would suggest, especially if you are trying to get access to some of the things that usually only VCs have access to. All right. So what are they trading at now? Dirt cheap, right? So if that was a 1 right there, that would be 1 penny. If that were a 1, that would be 0.1 cents. Now it's below that. It's 0.06 cents per token, bringing their total market cap to under $700,000. Now, they are a launch pad. They're not the largest launch pad in the world, but they're getting access to some of the same deals that some of the much larger launch pads are. And so when money starts really flowing in the market, that's when launch pads become really relevant, because the best launches often come through these launch pads. In order to get the tokens on the initial IDO, or sometimes even pre-sale, you have to participate in the launch pad. In order to participate, you need to have their tokens. And so, well, these market caps can go from under $1 million up to 100 million real fast when that happens. Now, they're launching equivalent projects to another one of my favorite launch pads, which is Engine Starter. And Engine Starter's market cap is 9 million right now. Okay. Under 700,000 and 9 million. Okay. Well, shoot. This would have to over 10x just to get to the market cap where Engine Starter is. Yet they're getting equivalent type of projects. So if I were trying to participate in a launch pad, Spores Network seems like your money's going to go farther because their token relatively is so cheap. I don't look at the token price because it's more the market cap that tells you, because the supply of tokens aren't always the same. In order to figure out the true price of things, you have to take what the price of each token is times the number of tokens out there. And that's exactly what the market cap is. So that's why we refer to the market cap so much, because that tells you the true picture of where price is at for it. So Spores Network, I'm glad they joined us for an interview. I've been trying to line up that interview for a few months. Unfortunately, back when I started trying to line up that interview, their price was way down here. So I booked them in December, and they said, yep, we can do early February. Well, crap. I wish I could have had them on, because look at where this price was. But it's still a market cap that's abysmally low. All right. What else am I looking at? Well, you might have noticed I did another interview not too long ago. Okay, so Animal Concerts. Now, their price historically went all the way back to about almost 3 cents. It's currently a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that. And what does Animal Concerts do? Well, they have a lot of your top artists. Alicia Keys is working firsthand with them, and many other recording artists and performing artists. And they have a lot of those Hollywood connections to bring these artists to the different metaverses. So think of them kind of like Ticketmaster or a big producer that, like, say some big metaverses are going to have a concert. Animal Concerts will kind of run that concert, contract with the producer or with the artist to come out and do it and run that, right? So Animal Concerts is right in the midst of that. Now imagine when they start announcing some concerts, where this market cap could go. Well, first, we don't fully know where the market cap truly is. We know what their fully diluted market cap is. This is if all their max supply of tokens were in circulation times their price would give us a $9 million market cap. So my guess is their true market cap is somewhere between 2 to 4 million. Now, unfortunately, it's also not quite as cheap as it was, but it's not bad. So its lows, it hit all the way down here about 1/3 of where prices are at now, and it's done this kind of climb. But still, this market cap is really, really low. Now, could it go lower? Yes, all three of these could. In fact, when I covered Singularity DAO before, they weren't at the very lowest. They were just near the lowest. In fact, let's look at where Singularity was in October. So October, they had this recent pump, and I don't like buying things in green candles, but we covered them right around here when it was coming off that pump and coming down. And so by the time you would have seen the video, it would have been somewhere in here around 5 cents. Especially if you'd taken a few days to do your research, you would have been able to then make an informed decision around 5 cents or 4 cents, 4.5 cents if you liked it. It later came down even cheaper. Oh no. But then if you had bought at, say, 4.5 cents or 5 cents, it went over 12x from 5 cents. In fact, it went 13x from 5 cents, right? And maybe it even keeps going up further. What I did at first was I took half my profits out on NTX that covered not only what I had put into it, it covered everything I'd put into it plus a bunch of profit. And then as I saw the pattern playing out, I decided some other things were cheap, and I took some more profits on it, selling the rest of my position so that I could roll it into some other projects that were still really, really low market caps and not in narrative. All right, let me take a look at some of your comments. All right. Dr. Beats 1000 says, hi guys, let's make it rain. If you haven't already made it rain on that like button, make it rain on that like button. Is it going to rain in the future and make it rain into our financial futures? Well, it really depends on the decisions that you're making. The reason I go over these concepts over and over again, I try not to hammer them too much, but I do address them repeatedly, is because buying when it's boring is what leads you to success. And all the people that I know that are super rich from crypto, well, they buy things that have a strong narrative when they're out of the narrative, and then they wait till they're in the narrative. And so do I chase into things like AI coins now? No, not till it goes way out of narrative and it comes back cheaper. Could it keep running? Yes. If you've been a long time fan of the channel, you'll probably remember that I covered Eluvium way, way, way back. Let me show you. Hold on. That's not the one I want. Okay. I covered Eluvium. Well, that's not going to give us the history we want. IOV. We probably got to go to maybe MEXC will have a long history. No. We might even have to just do this. I covered Eluvium when it was on its way up after launch at 300, and I said I'm just going to pass on it. I don't chase green candles, right? So it had gone all the way up here. This is back in 2021, and I said I really, really like the project. I'm going to wait till it's cheap. Now, I didn't know that it would go all the way to 1,600, but I knew that it already pumped from $60 to 300 and done a nice 5x. So had I bought it, I could have enjoyed a 6x maybe from what I bought it at, and that's if I sold it near the top. Now we're in this long price retracement, and now I've been picking it up. Unfortunately for me, I missed the very, very low bottom when it went under $40, but that's okay. I made an entry at $62. Made another one the other day at $65. So yeah, out of the narrative. I mean, a few people started talking about it because it did start pumping recently, because it did this, and unfortunately it's not quite as cheap as it was. But as I was making my decisions, it was at $62, so it was up 50% from the lows, but it's not like it had gone 6x or 10x already. Now, could Eluvium pull back before it runs some more? Yes, it could, and I sure hope it does, because I missed the lows, I didn't put a ton in, and I'm waiting till it goes up more. So this is another one of the tokens that I've been buying the last 2 weeks. Now, unfortunately, it's not as strongly out of the narrative as I would like. I would love it if everybody stopped talking about Eluvium for 3 months and the price would go down tremendously so I could completely load up my bags. But at least it's not $600, it's not $1,800, and it's come down from its highs, and it's in this nice zone. All right. Suresh, let me get back to you later on that and see if we can. Your opinion on my crypto strategy, asks George17. 3 to 5 coins only, but those bags are filled to the max. So if one hits, I win. If none hits, that's life. OMI, aka secret token. ANML copy bags are filled. Let's go. Well, I'm very partial to the ones that you picked. Okay. So I use higher diversity than what you're using, but I am partial to the ones that you're buying. I wish I had far more Kopi tokens than I do. I have some, not as much as I like. I am massively stacked on Kopi land. I think both can do tremendously well. Animal concerts, you can't buy any land, but you can just buy their token. And OMI, you can't buy any land yet, maybe in the future. So one of my largest altcoin bags is in OMI. One of my largest metaverse land holdings is in cornucopias. And animal, I've been picking up dollar cost averaging several different buys during the last few months. And I already had some that I had bought quite a while ago. So I like all three of those. So we'll see. I use greater diversification than that. At least 3 or 5, you start diversifying. Your numbers are kind of right that, like, you know, if none of it hits, that's life. It's good to go in it with that expectation because you don't know for sure. Should all 3 of those fail, I would be shocked if all 3 of those failed. I would be shocked. I'd be surprised if any one of the 3 failed. But you never know. Things could happen. Maybe somebody could get arrested, some weird thing, plane crash, CEO dies. Who knows what happens with the company? But the person who had the amazing vision that was the driving force behind it is no longer around. You just don't know. And so the diversification helps make risk mitigation. Now, my first run, I wasn't diversified nearly as much as I am now. I diversified into a few projects that I thought had really good chances. And then I put half of my holdings in Bitcoin. Wish I hadn't done that because, yeah, the Bitcoin did okay. It did a 5x. My altcoin holdings did, like, some of them 100x, 150x, some of them just 20x. But it was sure a heck of a lot more than the 5x of the Bitcoin I was holding did. All right. George 17, 25 million secret token, 15 million animal, 500k Kopi. Oh, I like it. Okay, you have substantive amounts of them too. 2 more. Going for the moonshot, not just to make some money. Yes, that's awesome. All right. Bill Gardner says, what's up, Rain? What's going on, Bill? Good to have you here. Colin Vanderhaven asks, what makes you find these gems? Do you just scroll down the list and investigate all of them? Must be time consuming. That's a great question. No, I don't scroll down the list and investigate all of them. I watch lots of other YouTube videos. I wish I could find more fundamental analysis on most of them. But as I'm driving or going throughout my day, I listen to a lot of information, and I listen to what the arguments people make for what they're interested in. And the truth is, I get better tips from our audience members than I get from most of the other channels. As far as like, perhaps this has created a network that we think similarly. And so some of the projects that I've become most bullish on have actually come from the chat in there that I looked deeper at. And then I was liking what I was seeing, so I looked deeper. And then I was liking what I was seeing, so then I looked even deeper. Yeah, that's where most of them come. Sometimes it comes from other channels. Like I do like some of the other channels I like. I think Paul Barron does a fantastic job. And he does some Twitter analytics to see what people on Twitter are really excited about. That's why he's become such a big fan of Akomi and Vivi when most of the other larger channels are completely sleeping on him. That's what's made him aware of it. I like Ivan on Tech. I don't watch him as much as I used to, and I do like Benjamin Cohen, but he mostly sticks with like Bitcoin, ETH, Cardano, Solana, super blue chip projects like that. But he does have some good analysis on what's going on with the greater market. And so a lot of times I'm watching random channels, or if I find a token that I like, I then look for interviews with the founders, with whoever they do an interview with. And I soak in as much of what they're saying there because I like to fill out the team and then look further. It is time consuming, especially because I unretired myself and now I'm doing real estate to get some more money so I can buy more at these prices. And gosh, I'm struggling to keep up with being an investor myself, the YouTube channel, and a day job, especially because I'm a little bit rusty at the day job stuff because it's been a solid minute. I retired March of 2021. So yeah, I'm going through some rustiness that I'm not quite as good as I remembered. All right. I wanted to get to just in time. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Hello, Jay. Can you review Tidal Finance? I'm bullish and they fit the criteria you've talked about. Low market cap, high volume. Well, let's see. Tidal Finance. Let's take a look at them and see what we can see. Whoa. Extremely low market cap. That's a juicy market cap, but do they have a chance of surviving? Okay, so let's put it on logarithmic scale. So they're not at the bottom of where they were. They're 2x from there. Higher yields, protocol insurance. Earn higher yields while securing and ensuring the DeFi and blockchain economy. So essentially they're along the lines of what Bumper is accomplishing, but in a different way. It seems like it's more insurance. And let's see, high yield, leverage to earn customizable switcher plan at ease for reserve providers. For project teams, competitive market rate, flexible weekly subscription plans, stake, earn, and support. I'm not fully sure what they do yet. 1.7 million USDC reserve size. Docs, let's see. Tidal is a decentralized discretionary mutual cover protocol that offers the DeFi community the ability to hedge against the failure of any DeFi protocol or asset by direct leveraging up to the reserve to cover multiple protocols at the same time. The enhanced capital efficiency attracts reserve providers, while a competitive insurance premium attracts buyers. Okay. So I have just a glimpse of what this project is all about. And with the time constraints, do I like it? Potentially. Do I love it? Well, I love where their market cap is at right now. The question is, do they have a chance to survive before DeFi comes back into narrative? And if they do, boy, it could see some good returns, because say money comes back in the market and the market cap's at 300,000 right now. And let's just say the market cap, do keep in mind though, only a fraction of their supply is in circulation. In fact, less than 5% is in circulation. So that is something I don't love about it. They haven't been out that long, so they're going to be vesting tokens and other things. And already they're oh, that was year to date. Okay. They've been out longer than I thought. They've been out since about when I retired. So almost 2 years. Okay. I'd have to know more about how their tokens come into circulation, but they've been out for about 2 years. Hit a bottom. They were previously at 4 cents, and even 4.5 cents, which is like 100x up from here. I don't know. It's probably good enough. I would include this in my diversification across over 100 projects. Would I go huge on this if I were only buying 3 to 5? No. But with my diversification that I have, like a lot, personally, I would probably throw some in this, and then I would continue to, try to get to know them and see if I could see interviews with the team, find out their backgrounds and other things before I put any more. I like what I see enough that I would put maybe 1/500th of my portfolio into it. Do I like it enough that I would have bought last bear market when I was still pretty new and figuring things out and didn't have the reserves that I have now? Maybe. I would need more research to know if I would have then, which is the same situation where most of you guys are at, because this is your first kind of bear market. You haven't, almost all of us come in during some kind of pump. We don't know to take profits. And so we end up actually often below what we put in, and we find ourselves in this bear market. Now, a lot of people get mad and they leave and they say crypto's a scam. The smart ones stick around and load up while everything is cheap. The problem is, when this is your first cycle, is how much money do you have to invest? And so I like the numbers. I don't love this. So you look at this price versus this price. I don't like the spread. So it really depends on where some of those tokens are. But I like it enough in that it's been out for 2 years that, throwing a small amount in this is something I would do. And then research before I put in more. And then if I really like what I was seeing, put in more. That's kind of what my thoughts are on that. All right. Bill Gardner says, I'm in OMI, ADA, Kopi, Eluvium, CRO, and Matic. I own no CRO. I had some Matic when it was dirt cheap and it went crazy. I wish I had picked up more. It was one of those narratives that I knew Matic would do well. I just didn't take the time to pick it up, and so I missed the massive gains with Matic. It is, in my opinion, one of the better blue chips out there now. It wasn't even always a blue chip. And so percentage-wise, it could even go up higher percentage-wise than Cardano, which is one of the only blue chips I own. CRO, I don't own any, and I haven't followed it. They changed their mechanism so much that I just don't usually have any foresight into what they're going to do, and it swings the price so volatilely. I haven't paid attention to CRO very much, but I know a lot of people that have it and believe in it. All the rest that you have, I have too, right? And I'm a big believer in. I'd love to pick up more Eluvium around $65. I hear you there. Me too. If what they're doing it comes to fruition, and I say the word if, that token could do amazing things. And here's why. So they're doing some kind of, I forget, Eluvitar sale. And I don't know whether I'm going to spend any money on that or not. I might buy a few packs. They did make the packs really, really, really cheap. So I might buy some. But most of it, I would rather pick up more Eluvium tokens with. I'm flush on land. I have a lot of land. I've got like 22 plots, just one tier 3, a bunch of tier 2s, and then a whole bunch of tier 1s. Okay. So I've got plenty of land. I don't have plenty of Eluvium token because I was waiting for it to get cheap, and it's gotten cheap, right? So even at under $100, it's still way cheaper than the $1,800 it was. Is it as cheap as the $40 it hit? No, but I don't know for sure whether those prices will come back. I hope they do, because I'd like to have a lot more Eluvium tokens. Because as this game comes out, and the closed beta or private beta, you can now play the Eluvium overworld, and it's fun. The Eluvium Alpha or the Eluvium Zero is fun as well, and I would say the Auto Battler or Team Fight Tactics is pretty dang cool too. And so I see this coming together pretty well, that if people are really liking the game when it comes out, it could really hit its own narrative that everybody in the whole space is talking about Eluvium. And then as people play it, part of the revenues, they use the revenues, say they get the revenues in ETH, they then take some of their profits, they turn that ETH into buying Eluvium tokens, and they reward the ILV token stakers with more ILV. And so, gosh, this is the kind of thing that can go absolutely wild. I don't know if it will, but after I got access to Eluvium Overworld, I got way excited about this one, and I'm still way excited about this one. All right. Check out ZCX. I'm trying to remember what ZCX is. Unison. I've heard of it. Can't say I know what it is. Before I look deeper at that, I've got to go back to Suresh's Moblands, which I'll get to. Joe Nunez says, love the show. You opened my eyes to the potential of low caps compared to the blue chip tokens. Thank you for sharing with us all. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate your good thoughts. Thanks for that great answer. You're my go-to information channel while at work or at home. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Colin. Justin Time says, thanks, Rain. And George 17 says, Cornucopia's land, love it. The team kicks arse and seems like super smart individuals. Absolutely. They are really cool. I've had them on the show a number of times. I got a chance to meet them in person in Las Vegas at the Cardano NFT, the CNFT convention, and that was a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to go back to Mobland. I'm not sure I've heard of Mobland, so Sinner is their token for Mobland. Well, that's kind of fun. You know, I think there's some value in just owning, like, embracing Vice, right? So Mobland and their token is Sinner. That's funny. Let's see what markets their token. It is traded on KuCoin, but also Uniswap. So it seems like an ERC20 token, but you can get it on KuCoin. I like KuCoin as an exchange. There is a link below if you don't have a KuCoin account. I like it. I like that their token is nice and cheap, but we can't tell how cheap because all we have is their fully diluted market cap. You know, I might have heard of Mobland, actually. Yeah, but it's been a while. So this is what it looks like when it's strongly out of the narrative. I really need to have a better idea of the team behind it. And, I mean, so it's got some cool buzzwords and everything. Does it have a solid team behind it that can deliver on this? So it looks like kind of a Grand Theft Auto metaverse, which Grand Theft Auto was one of the biggest games in the world, even though it was so Vice related and a lot of moms didn't want their kids playing it. It definitely hit that, oh my gosh, it's naughty. And because it's naughty, it was a super attractor that a lot of people play Grand Theft Auto. I'm definitely not going to log in with MetaMask at this point. I can't really tell. Let's see, roadmap. Week of February 8th. Week of February 21st. Real-time PvP alpha stage. Have they hit this goal? Are they going to be able to do that this February? Like this next week? Bud looting minigame. Use blueprints to play against other sinners. Participate in brawls to loot the opponent's Bud. Introducing multiple brawl locations in the city. Alpha environments. So I'm curious to see if they have a game out. Maybe they do. That you can actually start playing. Interesting. I like the narrative that they're in. Looks like you can also buy it on Bybit. I do like that about Bybit, but Bybit is going more and more also into a regular trading thing. They did offer me an affiliate. I haven't taken them up on that because I don't endorse leverage trading at all. They are moving away to also be like a regular exchange and getting some good tokens on it. And I like that about it. Yeah, and I think to trade on it, you can be in the US as long as you're using a VPN. And I like that about it. But the same thing can be said for KuCoin. Okay. Yeah, so I like some of what I'm seeing here. All right. What was the other suggestion I wanted to get back to before I look at some other ones? ZCX. Okay, now it's ZCX's turn. Unison. It seems like maybe I've heard of the project. There's so many projects out there, it's hard to keep track of them all. Sometimes when I see their website, it reminds me. Unison ecosystem is housing and aggregated trades across trusted first and third party exchange modules to enable Zen state of mind for traders. Unison is currently powered by the below liquidity providers, but is continuously adding more sources of liquidity. It's a Web3 operating system. I'm not feeling it. Look, they use some buzzwords here. I don't like buzzwords. Okay. The Unison ecosystem is housing and aggregating trades across trusted first and third party exchange modules to enable a Zen state of mind for traders. Why is this even relevant to like profits? And how does that really create a Zen state of mind? I really don't like this statement. It makes me concerned for the project. Unison is the first C DeFi exchange to combine the functionality of first and third-party centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges in order to meet the needs of both retail and institutional traders. Unison Exchange is able to find the most cost-efficient trades. Okay, so this is a narrative where there's lots of people working in. In fact, it's not too far from what one of the projects, from 2021. This is a very competitive space that they're in. Let's see what their market cap is. 26 million, fully diluted market cap, 105 million. Okay, but they're going into a playground where they're competing against big names like Binance, because at the end of the day, traders are going to use what's simplest for them with the best, most tokens that are easy to trade and the fees are low. They don't really care how it's handled. They just care to know like it has to make sense what's being done. I don't know. Do I like this enough? I would buy it. Not so far. Not so far. In fact, that one statement turned me off. I just don't like buzzwords being thrown around that don't fully add up. I see AI thrown around, right, a lot, and it's like, well, so how is that really AI, or what is that relevant to AI? Like, yeah, that's a buzzword. That's a huge turnoff because I've seen a lot of projects that are just trying to raise a bunch of funds. They're then going to intentionally fail. Failure is part of their roadmap. This is the part they don't share, and they're going to keep a bunch of the funds. They're going to pretend that they did some work, and they're going to keep a bunch of the funds. Do I know that Unison is in that? I have no idea whether they're in that, but that's what that buzzword raised a red flag with me about. Now, they've been in now for not just new, and they haven't bailed yet, so that part's a good sign. But I don't know. I like other options I'm looking at better. I would have to see why that really makes sense. Okay, I wanted to get to Andrea Gray, Everdome. This one I've heard of. I'm trying to remember what it is. And I don't. $56 million market cap, fully diluted market cap, 200, almost 300 mil fully diluted. So I don't love those numbers for a project that I don't even fully know what it is. Okay. Yes. So it's supposed to be a hyper realistic metaverse. I did look at this a few weeks back. Reminds me of Network with a much higher market cap than what I covered Network when their market cap was way low. Okay, so obviously a somewhat cool website and video here, but does it all add up and make sense to me? Not really. Get a Genesis NFT on OpenSea, connect wallet, download, and experience a new world. So I do like that they already have something that you could get out and test. But what are they really building, right? So you'll be able to walk around maybe this spaceport and stuff and look, and it can be pretty. What's the use of that, though? Where is this project going? What's going to make it survive 10 years from now? What is it going to make it survive when Eluvium's private beta becomes an open beta? And not only can people look around this beautiful world that's amazing, but they can play the game and they can capture alluvials, and these alluvials will have tangible value that people want to buy so that they can use them in the auto battler game. So I'm not getting enough of the feel of what their story is or what their value proposition for the future is from their website, and I don't love that. So I gonna put a couple red flags by this in my mind. That doesn't mean they can't go 5 or 10 or 20x from here. You'll see some projects that when a narrative hits, they might have a really shitty team, and sorry for the cursing, but yes, a team that's not great, and they might have a terrible plan and everything, but because that narrative hits, they might pump too. The reason I spend so much time when even that's the case, finding good fundamentals, is that a team like that will absolutely not weather through the bad months if there's a lot of bad months and will collapse, versus a more focused, better led team. And so not only that, when the bull market comes, the better led team that's more focused, it's a much greater chance of having more substantial gains. All right. One more look. Last one I'll look at. When I look at check dot. Okay, check dot. CDT. Let me share my screen. Market cap 2.5 million, essentially. Fully diluted market cap 3 million. I like that. Let's see how long they've been out. Oh, wow. Okay. But even after their really big gains, they're still only small market cap. That's interesting. What in the world is this project? So they launched over a year ago, but just over a year ago, and they're right back to their launch prices. What is this project? Fight risks. Use CheckDot. Use the ultimate tool that combines DeFi solutions and utility. Okay, get insured, become insured. Protect against many types of risk. Smart contract platform hacks. Okay, so it's pumping too because Lido is pumping probably. That's why. See, I would be concerned to buy it right now because of this, right? This big pump that they just went through. This is absolutely not sustainable. Now, what sometimes happens is it comes down and retraces, and then it runs up further. Its market cap is really, really low, but just think if you had been able to buy here The market cap used to be in like 100 or 200,000. It's now gone like 12x to 31 cents. And so I'm not going to chase this green candle. If I knew more about it and I knew, gosh, because that market cap is still really, really small, it could go a lot further. So I would just put a question mark by this and 2 stars by this in like my book. And I'd be like, okay, I need a lot more foundational research on this because I don't like to buy something just after at 12x. I will only do it if I look at it and be like, you know what, this market cap should be like 200 million. And here's all the reasons why. And then I'd still be looking for a good entry because, boy, it just absolutely went berserk. So we'll see. Good suggestion, though. Drama Plug, thank you for bringing that one up. Jack Sam asks, what's up, Rainmakers? Well, I wanted to do our giveaway before we wrap up, and we have 3 weeks worth of giveaways to do today. So we have a good amount of wand. We have, 375 wand to give away today. Now, I hope you guys know the way to get these answers, because if you paid attention to them, you'll know that the first thing you should do is already have WandChain's Twitter followed and pay attention to what's happening on WandChain's Twitter. Why? Because that's where most of the questions come from that I asked. So why not win some free WandChain? Yes, it's only been bouncing between 15 to 30 cents, but it won't always be that. I think WandChain is one of the undiscovered gems that people have forgotten about because it's been out of narrative for quite a while. And some point things come back into narrative. So strong projects don't stay out of the narrative for forever. They do come back in. Now, WandChain has been good to us with this strategic relationship, and we want to thank them for that. Now, WandChain, here's your question. And the first person that I see the answer from, that they're first in line on my chat, is the winner. WandChain is currently doing a referral program. What platform is the referral program using? Hint, it isn't Twitter. That is the answer. But you might check their Twitter to see what referral program they're talking about. All right. We need some good music. I can hit this while that's working, but I can't hear it. You guys should be able to hear it. Sweep widget. Not quite what I'm looking for. If you go to their Twitter, you'll see what I'm talking about. Came into the space chasing all of the games. Just do have some other things here, but unless I put the headphones on, I can't hear them. But you guys should be able to hear them. All right, no answers yet. I'm surprised. Look for the pinned tweet on WandChain on Twitter. And I know some of you are holding back because you won before. Don't hold back. Why? This is first come, first serve. This is to strongly encourage you to follow. If you win every week, so be it. All right, here is a hint. I'm not going to say anything. If you can read my screen, should be able to answer this question. WandChain is currently doing a referral program. What platform is the referral program using? No, Marcus, your stuff isn't coming through. This is my first message from you I've seen. Oh, and maybe that would be crazy. Maybe when you put because the answer is Telegram, and maybe it's filtering out anytime somebody puts Telegram in stream in YouTube. YouTube is like, Nope, that's probably a banned word. I hadn't even thought of that. All right. So gosh dang, I didn't even realize that would be a problem. So I'm gonna have to go with the. Oh man, it's a bummer because I bet a bunch of people put it in first. You put it in a way that it came through first, Pete. Yes, you did. The drama plug put in TRP, the Telegram Referral Program, first, right? Which is an acceptable answer. So, gosh, I didn't realize that this would be edited out. So we're not able to see who the true winner would have been because YouTube just, there's a lot of scam things that it probably removes from the comments because they'll be like, yeah, reach my Telegram to find out how you get $10,000 in Bitcoin. It's all scams, right? And so it's probably automatically filtering out that word. So I'm just going to have to go with, yeah. Where to go? One. Drama plug was close, but you had TRO, which first, but then you came in with TRP, correcting it. Thank goodness, right? So a drama plug, hit me up in my Telegram. If you don't have it, the way you get it is join the Telegram group below and then look for a pinned post by me and hit send message. And so I need you through Telegram. I'll get your MetaMask or your OneMask address and I'll send you the winnings. All right. I was wondering why nobody was answering that. I think you all were probably putting it in there and it was just getting filtered. I was like, this is an extremely easy question. Why is nobody getting it yet? Unless you're all like not putting anything in there. So congratulations to the drama plug. My apologies that the true winner will never be able to see who it was. So Pete D says another question is fair. Yeah, I just have to go with the first one that showed up based on the rules that we had, not realizing it'd be filtered out, Pete. My apologies. All right. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We're in this little phase of the market is picked up some. Will it continue? I don't know. Overall, the general market is still fairly slow. We're somewhat near that murky bottom on many projects, and maybe it comes back and it's even lower. Maybe it continues high. Just know that good decisions made during these timelines, and especially during this crypto winter, even if we're near the end, and maybe we are, maybe we aren't, they lead to life-changing ones when the market turns around. Every one of you are in the right place at the right time. Are you then making the right decisions? Because if you are, well, the rains will come again, and projects that have planted their seeds, they've worked hard and nurtured those seeds, well, they will flourish. And those of you who have found them, invested in them, and been patient with those projects, your portfolios will absolutely flourish. This wrap is for all of you to reinforce the principles that I shared that made all the difference for me in higher returns. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.
To the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit, right before you could. It was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I take the one out, cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I'll buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, to leave in a lot. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. The next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge game show. Sticking out this road could soon become a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow would be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. Strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be cracking. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Amazing time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I'll follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.